Hello everyone and welcome to Heavy Debriefings Top 100 Albums of 2023, Part 7, 40 through 31. This is Josh Ronquist here, and we've already gone through 60 albums. We only got 4 parts left, and let's get right into it. Just in case you aren't familiar with the rules, check them out in the description down below, and let's begin. Coming in at number 40 is Baress with Stone. And well, it is a little sad to see it end up so low on the list compared to other albums like Purple and Golden Grey. This album is still fantastic. It feels like a best of Baress with new material and some new influences going on as well. Of course, you got some great moments as well that go on with even blast beats, mellow parts, heavy parts, everything that you would expect from the Baress catalog up to date. But of course, with the Color Spectrum series coming to a conclusion, the band is going into a new direction. Is it with elements? Is it with rock? I don't know yet. We just know that it's Stone. And so far, it does feel like a very great, heavy slab of Baress. And like I said, it feels like a best of album with brand new material. And that's one of the best compliments you can really get. Coming in at number 39 is Eclipse with Megalomanium. And this is one of the most diversive albums the band has put out to date. I've seen some people say they don't enjoy it because of the variety, but I love it because of the variety. It's got heavy songs, it's got ballads, it's got a couple pop punk moments in there too. It feels like I'm kind of listening to My Chemical Romance a little bit at times. It is a very all over the place album, but with one key exception, it all makes sense. It is so nice and catchy. It's got that patented AOR rock, AOR metal style, and of course being able to spread the musical wings is always a good thing in my eyes. Eclipse knows how to write a good song no matter how heavy or soft it gets, and there's no better example right now in 2023 than Megalomanium. Coming in at number 38 is Ronnie Atkins with Trinity, the third solo album from this legendary vocalist who has one of the most inspiring stories in music. If you're not familiar, please go look it up, and it might even bring a tear to your eye. Especially with Trinity and everything that he's gone through, the fact that he's still making music, he's still sounding the best that he ever has, and putting out some amazing solo music is always going to mean something near and dear to me. There are songs on this album that just hit me so hard in the heartstrings, and it just might for you as well. It's got some great hard rock moments, a little bit of metal, and that great AOR sound. If you need something like that, Ronnie Atkins is still here for you, putting out some of his best music ever. At number 37, we have The Lion's Daughter with Bathhouse. Continuing on from what the band really started to accomplish with Skin's Show, this album is phenomenal. It's got those great haunted synthwave piano and keyboards. It's got the great metal tinges that you expect from the band. It feels like pure horror metal. And when you listen to the lyrics, it makes it that extra level of creepy. It works so very, very well. And they start to explore a little new territory as well here. A little more on the death metal side, a little more on the thrash metal side, a little more electronica moments from the synthwave sound. All of that and more is explored on this album. It is fantastic. And if you're looking for something after Halloween to really get into that horror spirit, because you can enjoy horror anytime you want to. It's not just Halloween or October. Check out The Lion's Daughter. At number 36, we got Oryad with Sacred and Profane. The debut album from this magnificent duo goes all over the place, and I appreciate that so very much. You got your symphonic moments, you got your progressive moments, you got more metal-ish metal moments, you got some very avant-garde moments as well too. It will change on the turn of a dime, and you don't see it coming, but it all makes sense. This is a darkly heavenly album that just makes you feel like you're back in the 1920s, and I love it for that reason. It's haunted, it's scary, it really is sacred and profane, really does live up to the title. And of course, when Vikram Shankar is able to put his stamp of approval and be able to work on this album as well, many times you'll be seeing him coming up in this list. You'll be very happy to know that this is some really fine music. If this is what they're doing for their debut album, I can only imagine that sophomore is going to be that much better. Coming in at number 35 is Surman with On Golden Verse. The sophomore album from this UK outfit is some of my favorite dark progressive music that has come out this year. It hits so many territories from near brutal death moments to catatonia moments, a little bit of Tool in there even though I'm not the biggest Tool fan. There's something to appreciate about this dark style of progressive metal. All clean vocals here, but it tackles so many dark, heavy subject matters that were going on within the world, from the inner self to war to just the state of the world that we live in, and so much more. This is a very underrated album, and I hope more people are able to check this out, because this album deserves your ears. Give this album a shot, and I can't imagine if you love this style of prog, you would be disappointed. Coming in at number 34 is a Flourishing Scorn with Sickened Seed. I have been waiting for this sophomore album for years, almost to the point I wondered if the band was even going to be able to continue on. And lo and behold, from out of nowhere, at least to me, the album has come out, and one of the newest entries to make it into the list. If this would come out later in the year, I guarantee this album would be up even higher, closer to the top, but I'm trying to be fair here. This album simply rules. It captures everything that I love about progressive metal, the extreme side of metal, and it helps that Hannes Grossman, one of the best technical drummers in the world, puts his slab of approval onto this album with his phenomenal jaw-dropping percussion performance. This album, I cannot say enough good words about it. This is how you do extreme progressive metal right. And if you don't believe me, just check it out for yourself. Prepare to have your mind blown. Coming in at number 33 is Ray Alder with his sophomore solo album, 2. This album sadly comes at the price of knowing that Fates Warning may not continue on making new original music. They might be just going out there and becoming a legacy act, which after nearly 40 years, I think they've earned the right to be able to do so. But it is sad to see that they might not be putting out new music. But when you turn the coin, this album is some of the finest work Ray Alder has ever done. And of course, when you have Fates Warning guitarist Michael Abdo, see, I told you he'd be on this list again, being able to show off his amazing song structures on how to write some of the most emotional progressive rock and metal I've heard this year. Yeah, this is fantastic work. You combine the two of them together, you have a dark, brooding, not so very optimistic metal album, but it is progressive, it is nice and heavy, and if you need that Fates Warning sound just in a little bit of a different style, Ray Alder is still pulling the punches. Coming in at number 32 is Earn with their sophomore album, A Feast on Sorrow. What I loved about the debut album so much was they were able to combine so many different genres together and create their own sound. But so many changes happened to the band over the last couple years, and they've gotten deep and dark into their sound. And they've created one of the saddest and darkest albums of 2023, having to deal with death, loss, losing people who are still around, losing people who have passed on, and of course even losing yourself due to the horrors of Alzheimer's. There's so much that goes on with this album, and if you really pay attention to the lyrics, you will need a Kleenex because you will be bawling your eyes out. I know I did. This album is fantastic, and of course when you put in the production skills of Joe from Gojira, who loves this band so much and wanted to be able to produce them, bring them out on tour, and show the world what Earn is all about, I am so happy for these guys. Even if it's come at a price that has happened within the band, I hope all of that misfortune leads to great fortune going forward. And finally for today, coming in at number 31, is Woe Unto Me, with Along the Meandering Ordeals, Reshape the Pivot of Harmony. A very long title, and it kinda lets you know what you're getting into. It's funeral doom metal. Very long, epic songs on this album, but I want nothing more than to hear these songs over and over and over again. Despite it being a very dark, depressing album, which of course is going to happen in funeral doom metal, the music is so pristine. It's got great progressive moments going on. It hits elements of melodic death doom and death doom in general. The vocals are incredible. The production is pristine. There's so much to enjoy about this album, and it's really one of the best funeral doom albums of the 21st century, in my humblest of humble opinions. I can't wait to see where the band goes next, because they've put out some of their finest work so far on this album, and I can only imagine that's going to continue on going forward. And there you go, folks, part 7 of the top 100 albums of 2023, 40 through 31 has concluded. What do you think? Did I pick out some good albums? Did I pick out some bad albums? Did you make any new discoveries? What do you think is going to make the top 30? Let me know all of that down below. And a reminder to check the rules to see how I do all of this. If you want deeper insight into these albums, please go check out heavydebriefings.weebly.com, where I'll be showing off the written version of the top 100 albums of 2023. Until tomorrow when we hit part 8, covering albums 30 through 21. For Heavy Debriefings, this is Josh Runquist saying, see ya.